Good morning, guys. Dakota back with another live stream. If this is your first time hopping on, every single Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, go ahead, hop on this YouTube live stream and talk about the pairs I'm paying attention to for the week and see how they play out for the week. Right? If you want to see all the screenshots and keep track with how I'm managing the trades or taking the trades, the link to the Discord server is in the description. I post all my charts there, and there's a section where you guys can communicate if you guys want to talk, learn from each other, that type of thing. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, link is in the description. Again, I don't get on social media a lot, so when I do get on there, I will check if you DM me and respond as quick as possible. But let's go ahead and get into this. So I want to start with dollar Swiss today. And like always, going to do a full markup for the people that don't know my strategy. It's real simple. It's nothing. I'm sure it's nothing new to most of you guys. What I essentially look for, I pay attention to market structure, right? I look for an impulsive move, which basically tells me where the market wants to go. Then I wait for a corrective move, which is ideally consolidating candles moving in the opposite direction of the impulse. And what that tells me is that the market is confirming that it wants to go in the same direction as the impulse. All right, I'll say that again. Small consolidating candles going in the opposite direction of the impulse is confirming that the market wants to go in the same direction as the impulse, right? So the next move I'm looking for after this corrective phase is a continuation pattern up. All right. So a lot of people hit me up from YouTube asking me about what is it, the market maker method, because I think the video that I have posted on YouTube that has like 8,009K views or something like that, it's explaining that in detail, right? And that's not me presenting that, right? That was a guest on one of the Zoom calls I used to do a year ago. I think it was about a year ago, right? And I had guests on those calls, basically people that have been trading longer than me, to present how they view the market and their strategy, that type of thing. So the link, or not the link, but in order to contact him, his contact information is in the description of that video. Alright. So with my strategy, paying attention to market structure, I start on the higher time frames, do top-down analysis, and by the time I generally get down to the 4-hour time frame, I really look for this. If I do identify it off the daily time frame, I will take advantage of it there as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and delete that, and let's start marking up. So like I said, starting on the monthly, what I look for levels where price has made major rejections or basically made reversals. I'll see right here, price has recently reversed from this area, so I'm going to identify it. And then up here is a major area where price has made several rejections. So if price does reach up to that area, I'm going to be looking to sell. Right now, I'll talk about more what I'm looking for as we go down to our lower time frames. Now on our weekly. On the weekly, I can see that we had a downtrend, and I'll draw it if people cannot see it. We had a downtrend here. Price broke that downtrend, gave us a huge impulsive move up, and we're looking for a corrective pattern, right? On the weekly time frame, we have an impulse, but we don't have a correction. And with my strategy, if there's an impulse, I'm going to be waiting for a corrective pattern to form. Once that corrective pattern forms, that's my opportunity to look for an entry into the market. So I'm going to be waiting for a weekly correction here. So if I'm waiting for a weekly correction, that means I'm looking for weekly to actually turn down for a little while. All right, to consolidate in this area. And I actually want to make a significant note of that. So I'm going to the gym later today, so I'm gonna take my time on this live stream today and be really detailed. I want to say, yeah, I'll be detailed. $90, $40. Okay, so now off the weekly, basically what it's telling me is begin looking for sales because I'm looking for a retracement, right? And these sales are going to be short term. The long term opportunities, obviously a buy, and looking for a buy possibly up to this area up there. Possibly, we got to see how the market forms. Let's go down to our daily, see what's happening right now. All right, so off our daily, at this point we can draw an uptrend. We can see that there is an uptrend here, and if I start my trend line from here right to that point, we see there's an uptrend. But for this to actually be tested, obviously we need price to scale down a whole lot lower, which, since it's such a far distance, I'm not going to include this. I don't like when there's such a huge gap between my trend lines. If my trend lines actually tight up against price, that's when I would draw it, but right now it's not, so it's kind of useless to me. And at this point, I'm just looking for price to reach one of my levels. All right. Okay, so since we have a demand zone here, but we don't have a supply zone, we're gonna draw a new supply zone. And with drawing these lines with the intention to just box price in more, right? The reason I want to box price in is because I want to know the areas that price could potentially reverse, and those areas where price could potentially reverse are areas where there are possible opportunities to get into the market. All right, so I like this area right now because price just rejected it recently, and we see we have some rejections there, we have rejection there, nice one there as well. Right, yeah, so it's a good level to me. And of course we can't be, in the last few streams I talked about being more detailed as far as when it comes to the lines. There are ways to be more detailed with it. Strongly suggest like reviewing your charts and figuring out what exact levels you should be drawing them at, because it does significantly help to know where really the orders are in the market. If you know where the orders are in the market, you know where people are going to try to protect their move. All right, but here we see that we have a very strong impulse. We have a corrective phase forming. Honestly, I like this corrective phase to come down lower. I already have a screenshot sent out on this move, and what I'm looking for is if I can find my tool. There you go. I'm gonna just use the shortcut. What I'm looking for price to scale down lower, and my move is set up on the 4-hour time frame, but I'm looking for this to scale down lower. One, because of the weekly time frame. Two, because like price hasn't necessarily reached a daily level that I'm looking to buy at yet. The level that I'm interested in is here. I like to see price test this area, see how it reacts, and possibly give me another buying opportunity there. Alright, so let's add this. Hey, if anyone, I've recently had some, this is obviously sidetracking. I've recently had some problems like with my mouse. My mouse works perfectly on my desk, but on my mouse pad or my mouse mat, the right side of my mouse mat, my mouse tends to struggle like tracking the sensor. Well, yeah, it tends to struggle on that side of my mouse pad. If anyone knows how to solve that problem, go ahead, let me know. Alright, but I'm looking for price to test this area, see how it reacts here, and see if it gives me a buying opportunity. I already have the screenshot sent out for this. Should have been sent out from last week, I believe. Oh, 2 weeks ago, actually. Because, yeah, we've been waiting for that retracement for a while. So let's... And the music kind of sounds... It sounds loud to me, so I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Okay. My fault. Okay, so that's solved. So here's our daily, and like I do go back through this and basically slim it down to like my top down analysis, putting it all together, at least these segments. So looking for price to get down to this level, so that could free us up for an opportunity to sell if we want to sell on lower time frame, or we could just wait for our higher time frame setup. Alright, so here on the 4 hour, this is actually where I drew the Fibonacci's, or what they're really based off of for that setup that I'm looking for. And I have it right at the 50 Fibonacci level. This is the exact area that I'm looking for price to come to. And in this area, I will consider looking for a buying opportunity, and we'll see how price reacts there. But right now, we just gotta wait for price to actually get there. So let's go ahead and... Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, now taking into account the higher time frames, we do know that the weekly we are looking for a bigger correction or bigger pullback, bigger retracement to actually form there. So price could scale down lower. Until price does scale down lower and makes the setup invalid, we'll keep on looking for it, or I'll keep on looking for it. If it does become invalid, I'll start prioritizing that weekly setup. On the daily, there's not really a prime setup that I'm looking for particularly there. If it does break below the 61.8, I will look at this level. Like, this is a level that I'm interested in to actually buy at, and that level is 90.45. And of course, wherever the buying opportunity comes, I am looking for it to scale up higher, or scale up and push this supply zone that I have drawn here. But that is the markup for dollar Swiss. Still same setup, no new screenshot needed. Let's go on to our next one. Pound dollar. All right, so on pound dollar, let's get into it here. start on the monthly time frame, coming down. Gonna put our supply zone level there, put our demand zone level here, looking for an uptrend, or we can see an uptrend right there, so I'll draw it on lower time frame if it's necessary. I'm not gonna draw it here. I don't like it's kind of yeah, I don't like it. I can draw it tighter on a lower time frame, right? So I'm gonna wait for that. Then on the weekly, there's nothing to do here, so let's go down to our daily. Okay, here on our daily, we can see prices moving up, but it's like it's trickling up. It's not really strong moving up, but it is definitely an uptrend, and definitely don't want to go up against the uptrend right now. Alright, we have a strong impulsive move here. We have a corrective pattern here, corrective phase here. Now, as long as price is above this trend line, gonna continue to look for buys until price breaks, really. Breaks our previous low. Alright, let's reset that. Yeah, other than that, nothing new to draw here. Going down to our 4-hour time frame. Now here on the 4-hour, price is ranging. You can see it right here. Oops. You can see it right here. Like price is just ranging back and forth. So I know a lot of people like to wait for like their range. I don't know about a lot of people. People that I talk to, right? People that I talk to like to wait for the break of the range. I ideally like to enter within the range at a specific level, like at one of these levels, whichever I'm biased towards based upon what I've researched or what I've marked up really. And I'll enter at the bottom of one of these levels instead of waiting for a breakout and waiting for the extra confirmation, because generally after the breakout comes, it's kind of too late to enter into the move, in my opinion. I'd rather get in early. If trade turns out to be wrong, it's wrong. But here, since we are in an uptrend, I would be looking for price to continue up. If price does break this trend line, then obviously going to be switching buys, start looking for sales. But for the time being, this is what I'm looking for. I'd like to see price visit this high, and the real reason that I really want to see price, or I'm really looking for price to continue up higher, is because I actually want to see price test this area again. All right, like it hasn't reached that area yet, and that's the target I've been looking for price to actually get up to. Hasn't tested it for how long? Since 2018. Yeah, so I want to see price get up to that level and see how it reacts there. Now, in order to like enter off of this, I'm not just going to enter because price hits the bottom level. I'm going to still look for confirmations. And in this situation, I'll be looking for my confirmations most likely on the 1 hour time frame, from what I'm looking at now. Yes, sir. Right, so I'm looking for an impulse and correction on my 1 hour time frame. And how I'll be looking for that, obviously going to be waiting for an impulsive move to form here. And then after that impulsive move forms, I'm going to be looking for a corrective move. And once that comes, I will look for an opportunity to enter for a buy after it tests a specific level. And then first target would be the top of the range. Well, really the trend line, because it is an area of resistance, so you obviously have to pay attention to it. But if price does break through that, we're looking for it to test this range, see how it reacts to the top of the range again, and then see if it breaks out. Alright, ultimately if it does get to that point. And this could actually pretty much happen within, most likely within by Tuesday. And I actually don't have this sent out, so I'll send this out. Again, to get the screenshots, the link to join the Discord server where I post everything is in the description. Just click that link, you should be able to join. And once you do join, there are going to be, I believe the first segment that you're going to see are roles, and announcements. Be sure to read, okay, because it tells you exactly what to do. You're going to click roles, and then you're going to react to one of the comments, or react to one of the messages, or actually 2 messages, and it will allow you to get access to everything else. And it's just a way to it will give you a role which basically allows you to be identified like as a swing trader, day trader, or whatever you may be, and basically the region that you're from, so that if someone wants to reach out to you, someone wants to talk to you, share ideas with you, you guys can both, or someone shares ideas in the chat, you guys know that, okay, they're thinking more short term because they're a day trader, they're thinking more long term because they're a position trader, whatever it may be. Alright, there we go. About that area, yeah, we can get something a little bit better than that. Perfect. All right, back to the charts. All right, EURJPY. Did we take this opportunity, or was this a? No, this was a setup. This was the setup I was looking for. That we talked about last week, looking for price to come down to this area and then buy off of it. Now, price came down to the area and did reject. It actually came down to this area right here, which there is a screenshot sent out for that, but it didn't come down the way that I wanted it to. It didn't give a confirmation in that area. It came down pretty aggressively, and didn't form what I wanted to see here, so I didn't take the opportunity. Price did scale up and reach this high, but fortunately weren't able to take advantage of it. And then price has actually broken the trend line, or began to break the trend line. So let's go full markup on this, see how it goes. So you guys pretty much know how I mark up, so I'm going to talk about something as I mark this up. Maybe. Right. Okay. So basically, if you guys, if you're not journaling, I strongly recommend journaling as soon as possible, because it does help out a lot. It helps you notice basically your own patterns, and with that, you're really studying yourself, because like you can utilize your strategy, but if you know that you're not, you have to know if you're implementing it correctly, if you're actually following the strategy, and if there are flaws in the strategy or flaws in your routine. Right? So maybe like the times that you're trading, maybe you're trading London session, because I know maybe you're trading London session and you shouldn't be trading London session. Maybe you should be trading New York session with the pairs that you're trading, or maybe you should be trading a different session. Essentially, your journal will expose that to you if you review it, and it can basically help you improve your system, because you can notice, hey, here's an opportunity that repeatedly comes up, and you can say, okay, I lose a lot when this happens, so why don't I just do the opposite, since price tends to just go the opposite direction, and that gives you a new setup opportunity. Those are just some ideas as to how like beneficial a journal can be, as long as you review it. Let me focus on this and speak out loud so I can like think and focus. So on EURJPY, within this range, I'm looking for price to correct and looking for it to scale up higher. I prefer to scale up all the way to that area. If price does come down, I'd say, and break this trend line, I'd say look for it to test this demand zone, and then from that demand zone, look for an opportunity for price to continue to scale up. Ultimately, I'm looking for this to go up overall in the long term, and I'll hold true to that until price breaks this low here. Long term, I'm looking for it to continue up. So right now, it's not too clear to me, honestly. Right? Now I do see a possible opportunity here, but it's not really clean, or at least as clean as I'd like to see it. To identify. So I don't really like this opportunity right now. So I'm gonna go down to the 4-hour time frame. See what's happening here. Again, our uptrend, our tight uptrend is here. It's broken, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Right now, we have an impulse move moving down. Could wait on a corrective pattern here, and then look to sell that. Now, where would we be selling that down to? Sell it down to about this area, so it probably wouldn't be much. I'd probably go for about a 2-to-1 here, potentially. honestly, yeah, I'm not liking this too much. But ultimately, short term, I do want this to go lower, and we'll be looking for a sell opportunity. As things start to develop a little bit more, or if I see something clear, I'll go ahead and send out the markup. But right now, I'm not liking it, and I'm not gonna force anything here. Yeah, I'm not liking anything. Alright, so I'm gonna go down over to pound Kiwi. Ooh, man. Alright, I looked over and I thought I didn't start the stream. That would have been. I remember last year. It was like the third quarter of last year. I did the whole entire stream, and I forgot to actually make it live. I forgot to hit go live, and I was I was really disappointed. So let's go to. All right, pound Kiwi. Like, since last year, we've been talking about this huge impulse, talking about this correction on the monthly time frame, and really looking for this to continue down, and ideally continue down to this level about 1.71. But we just have to find a way to get there. All right, if it does want to go down there, obviously if price reverses at any time, we're not going to stick to that bias, and we're obviously going to look for price to continue up. Right now, price is struggling to break this low down here, so something that we have to pay attention to and keep in mind, that price could always just keep on going. So let's go ahead, box price in. We have a supply zone up there. We have a demand zone here. Just the most recent area that price has rejected on the monthly time frame. I'm gonna go down to our lower time frame and box price in even more. So looking here, we see we had a downtrend here. Price has broken the downtrend. Now it's broken it with small candles, so it hasn't really broken it aggressively. Hasn't broken it aggressively, but we can't consider that we still have a trend line there, because if we did extend the trend line, right, we have a trend line here and we say it hasn't broken impulsively, it's broken correctively or very weakly, and you extend it here, price could continue to scale up, and all you would be doing is just keep on extending it as it just keeps on trickling up further and further. So that's pretty useless. You should be saying, hey, the trend's changed, look for buying opportunities. Right? So here we have an uptrend. I'm gonna draw it clear on a lower time frame because we should be able to get cleaner touches like that. It's really sloped. I prefer it to be steeper. I prefer to be steeper, but it's really it's pretty sloped, and it's pretty, geez, yeah, what I just said. So at this point, I'm looking for an area where there could be potential sellers, and I can see price right here has rejected this area several times, so I'm just gonna put a line there, look to the left, see if price has rejected that area before, and anyway, and it has overshoots it a few times, but in this area I would be looking to sell at the moment. Now with that being said, we can see that this area has given us several rejections, so price could potentially reverse there. Basically it could be order sitting right there. We can see if we draw it as a channel, price could reach the top of the channel, come back down, and we ideally want to see price revisit the bottom of the channel. So looking for price to visit the bottom here would be ideal. Let's go down to our 4 hour. So it's got price boxed in, and now that we know that, like, I'm gonna delete that because I don't really want it on my chart. Now, I did talk about a opportunity here, I believe 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. Right, there was basically an opportunity for a head and shoulders here. If you cannot see it, I will draw it. Alright, I saw this as an opportunity for a head and shoulders and price to potentially continue down. Alright, I entered, was it here or here? I entered at, I believe, this area on the 12th. Alright, yeah, that was a Friday on the 12th. And then on the 14th, on Sunday, spread was a little bit too big and got some slippage on my stop loss. Price did continue down to targets. Fortunately, I wasn't able to catch it. And I would prefer this to actually have continued down. But at the moment, we can see price has rejected this several times and rejected this area several times as well. So we can say price is ranging and looking for price to scale down lower. And it looks like I just missed an opportunity here as we've been doing the live stream. Unfortunately, I didn't set it up, so I'm not going to log it as a missed trade. But let me go back. Let me keep on marking up. So since we can see a range here, we can go ahead, draw zones. Say look for buying opportunities down here, potentially. Look for selling opportunities up here, potentially. Now in this area, since it is a strong selling area up here, and we've identified it off of our daily time frame, I'm going to be looking primarily for sales and pretty much ignore buys until unless price breaks out above this area here. So let's go down to the 1 hour time. Oops. Stay up on the 4 hour time frame. Now at the 4 hour time frame, we can see that price visited the top of this zone, and we're looking for price to scale down to the bottom of this zone and potentially break out, because like we said on the higher time frame, look for price to reach this trend line again, or the bottom of the channel like I drew it out before. But going down to the 1 hour time frame, I did set this move up. Set this move up on Thursday or Friday. I was looking for this low to be broken, and then looking for a corrective pattern to actually come up to this area. Like in this situation, price wicked out of there, so I would have entered here, and my stop loss would have been pretty not in a good area, honestly. But nevertheless, this is the opportunity, and look for price to continue down here. Once price gets to this level, we'll see how it reacts. If it gives a reversal pattern, there is an opportunity to buy there. I personally won't be buying, but I will be just looking for another impulse and correction to the downside until price reaches that trend line that we have. Alright, so within this range, I would be managing or looking for opportunities off the 1 hour time frame. But right now, nothing to talk about. Just have to wait for more things to form there. Excuse me. All right. So those are all the pairs that I'm personally paying attention to. Again, if you want to keep up with the charts and updates that I send out for this during this week, link to the Discord channel is in the description. All right, guys. Real quick, we'll look at UJ since there are no requests. This will actually be the last time I look at UJ. That's probably a lie. But yeah. But I don't really want to keep on paying attention to UJ because I'm not really taking advantage of the opportunities. I'd rather focus on the pairs that I am paying attention to and like just focus on that. So previously what I had here looks like I had a possible flat channel forming here. Looking for price to reach the bottom and then potentially give me a buying opportunity. Not necessarily the bottom, like maybe right here in this area, potentially for price to continue up. I think I have a full markup. But ultimately here on dollar yen, I am looking for price to reach this target, and after that actually push through that and actually reach this target ultimately. That's what we've been looking for pretty much for this entire year, and price has, I mean, UJ has not disappointed at all at all this year. So yeah, I would say just keep looking for price to continue up. Man. Okay guys, but that's it for the day. I really appreciate you guys hopping on, watching the call, and if you do want to show support, go ahead and hit that like button if you like the stream, and if you have any suggestions, go ahead, comment in the comment section, and hit that subscribe button to keep up with future videos and streams. But I will catch you guys in the next one.